What is going on, guys? What's going on? I hope everyone is doing well. Whew. So, I woke up this morning, right? And one of my friends texted me saying, "Hey, Jerron, did you watch the new broadcast?" And I said, "Yeah, you're talking about the reoccurring payments, right?" And they said, "No, we're talking about secular education and how the governing body leaders gave the green light." And I was like, "What? Are you fucking serious right now?" this whole time, Jehovah's Witnesses, if a baptized publisher was to tell another baptized publisher, "Hey, I'm going to college. I want to have a good career." If they said that, they would have been soft shunned. They would have been looked at, they would have been labeled as bad association for going to school, for pursuing secular education, for going to college, for getting a good career. They would have been labeled as bad association. And now, because a governing body leader, David Splain, he goes on stage and says, "Oh, if you want to pursue secular education, it is now a personal decision. It's a conscience matter now if you want to go to college." Meanwhile, we all know that if you were to tell Jehovah's Witness back in the day, hey, I'm going to college, I'm getting me a degree, they would have looked at you like, "You going to college for what? Paradise is right around the corner. We're going to be in the tribulation's about to start any day now. Why are you going to college for? Why you want to get a career? For what? We're going to be in paradise in the next year or so. 10 years tops." And now, David Splain, a member of the governing body leaders, goes on stage and tells everybody, "You can now go to school if you want. It is now a personal decision." Just like that. And my heart goes out to all the witnesses who wanted to do something with their lives. I think about all the witnesses who there's so many witnesses that's talented. A lot of them can write movies. I'm talking about a lot of them can dance, they can sing, they can act, they can play sports. All these Jehovah's Witnesses with talents, they could have done something with their life. But you know what they did? They put their dreams aside and they put the watchtower first. Because in their minds, they had to say to themselves, "You know what? Paradise is right around the corner. Yeah, I could sing, I could dance, I can act, I could, play basketball, I could be a football player, I could be a baseball player, I have so many talents, but you know what? Let me just focus on the new system. Let me focus on going to my meetings and standing in front of a cart." And my heart really goes out to these witnesses because a lot of them they're elderly now. A lot of these witnesses that had so many dreams, so many goals. They wanted to go to school. They wanted to have a good career. And they put that to the side for what? Just for a governing body leader to say, "Oh, you could go to school if you want. You could go to college if you want." It's now a personal decision. Can you believe that? That is the biggest slap in the face. That is the biggest slap in the face. Telling an organization filled with people who wanted to do things with their life. They wanted to. A lot of Jehovah's Witnesses, they'll lie and say, "Oh, we don't know. We didn't have any dreams. We don't care about this world, the system of things. We can't wait for it to pass." They'll say that. However, we're still in this system of things. The end of the world did not occur. Paradise is not here. A lot of witnesses were born and raised in this organization, and they were told that they don't have to worry about going to high school because they're going to graduate. I mean, sorry, they was told that paradise was going to be here before they graduated high school. And those very witnesses are now in their 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, still waiting for paradise. A lot of Jehovah's Witnesses don't have savings. They don't have any 401k plan because in the back of their mind, they're like, oh, well, why save? Why have a 401k plan when paradise is going to occur any day now? When the great tribulation is going to happen any day now. I'm going to be in paradise before you know it. I don't need savings. I don't need any 401k plan. And all those Jehovah's Witnesses that listened to those governing body leaders when they told them, don't pursue secular education. Those very witnesses, they are struggling right now. They are living paycheck to paycheck. There's so many witnesses that are living in poverty right now. All because they listened to these group of men, the governing body leaders that told them, don't go to school. Don't pursue secular education. Focus on the kingdom of things. Focus on God's kingdom, and you will be rewarded later on in a new system. For all those witnesses that wanted to do something with their lives, that wanted to go to school, that wanted to have a career, my heart goes out to you. My heart goes out to you. And that's why I always say in my channel, time is the one thing we can never, ever get back. That's why it's important. That's why it's important to make sure that whatever or whoever you're investing your time in, make sure that it's legit. Because nobody want to waste time with the wrong people or be in a wrong organization, be in a wrong religion, whatever. Nobody want to waste time with anything that's fake. Whether it's a relationship, a friendship, a religion, nobody want to waste time because our time on this life is short and it's precious. And I think about all these new rules, all the new light. Let's go back to, I think it was 2 years ago, or a little over a year ago, where the governing body leaders gave permission for men to grow their facial hair, their own hair. The governing body leaders gave permission for women to wear pants. From that to the toasting, to the reoccurring payments, and now a governing body leader, David Splain, just said that it is a personal decision if you want to go to school or not. It's up to you. That's your prerogative. It's your right. But we all know this time last week, you couldn't tell Jehovah's Witness, I'm going to college. You couldn't say that. Because they would have looked at you sideways. You would have been soft shunned. You would have been labeled as bad association. If you told a Jehovah's Witness last week that you wanted to go to school, they would have been like, what? Go to school for what? Paradise? We're going to be in paradise any day now. The good thing about all of this is that the more new light that's given, the more things change. That's going to help more and more Jehovah's Witnesses to see that this ain't the truth. more and more Jehovah's Witnesses, they're going to start to have doubts. Because as we know, this religion is not like the religion growing up. This is not the religion that I grew up in the 80s and 90s. No, sir. No, sirree. This religion has evolved into something new, something different. It's trying to be like any other mainstream religion. That's what's going on here. And you know what? If you're a Jehovah's Witness watching this video, I want you to think about this. So, When Stephen Lepp was talking about reoccurring payments, right? A few weeks ago, I think it was either last week or the week before, but when Stephen Lepp was talking about reoccurring payments, how Jehovah's Witnesses should have reoccurring payments for the society. Think about this. They built a studio for videos. The governing body leaders of Jehovah's Witnesses, they built a multi-million, and I gotta stress that word, it was a multi-million-dollar studio just so that they can start filming videos for JW Broadcasting, right? That studio cost millions of dollars to set up. Millions of dollars to set up. But yet, they're over here asking Jehovah's Witnesses, and most Jehovah's Witnesses, they're middle class. They're not luxurious. They're not wealthy people. Most Jehovah's Witnesses are either lower class or in the middle class spectrum. The majority of witnesses don't have money. So why would the governing body leaders ask for monthly payments from people who are living from paycheck to paycheck? People, like I said, the majority of Jehovah's Witnesses are living in poverty. They're either middle class or lower class, right? Why would a multi-billion, or with a B, billion, the Jehovah's Witness, the leaders I'm talking about, the organizations, they are worth billions. If they sold all their assets or their kingdom halls, oh my God, the kingdom halls alone, worldwide, will be in the billions. They already have billions in currency and their assets, right? But they would have even more money if they sold their kingdom halls, right? But why would they ask the rank and file members for recurring monthly payments if the organization already had millions of dollars, right? It cost millions of dollars for them to set up this studio so that they could have videos for JW.org, right? For broadcasting. They already had millions of dollars for that. And by the way, why would they need a studio to make videos if the end of the world is right around the corner? That don't make any sense. If the end of the world is right around the corner, and that's the highlight of being a Jehovah's Witness. Jehovah's Witnesses are Jehovah's Witnesses because they believe that they're making it into the paradise earth. They believe that there's a new world that's about to be ushered in any day now. So if that's the case, why is the governing body leaders of Jehovah's Witnesses talking about making monthly payments when the end of the world is right around the corner? Why does God need money? Why does a all-powerful, almighty God need your money? This is common sense. That alone should have woken up every Jehovah's Witness when Stephen Lepp was talking about Jehovah's Witnesses making reoccurring monthly payments. That should have been a red flag to every Jehovah's Witness. They should have been like, hold on, God needs our money? Why? This organization has money. They have billions of dollars already. Why do you need our money? That's the question that every Jehovah's Witness should have been asking themselves when Stephen Lepp made that announcement. And now they're saying that secular education is a personal matter. It's a personal decision. It's a conscience matter. When we all know that was not... You could never, ever tell Jehovah's Witness, I'm going to college, I'm going to have a good career. You couldn't say that to a Jehovah's Witness, ever. Ever. Because they would look at you like, why? Paradise is going to happen. We're going to be in paradise any day now. And just like that, boop, David Explain goes on stage and he gives Jehovah's Witnesses permission to pursue secular education. And you have Jehovah's Witnesses now in their 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, living from paycheck to paycheck or relying on government assistance, financial assistance from the government, because they don't have any savings. And they don't have any savings because the governing body leaders told them, don't worry about getting a good career. And they don't, the worst part about all this is the governing body leaders, they never give an apology. You will never hear, oh, I'm so sorry, brothers and sisters. We know that a lot of you could have went to school. You could have had a good career, a good trade, but you decided not to. And we just want to apologize from the bottom of our hearts. We want to apologize for anyone who's down and out. We are so sorry. You would never hear that from the governing body leaders. You would never hear that. And I ask myself, all this new light from men being able to grow their own hair, women can now wear pants, from that to toasting, which we knew back in the day, it was always a form of pagan. You couldn't toast back in the day. The governing body leaders, they never asked for money back in the day. It was all donation based. If you have any donations, we appreciate it. If you don't have anything, it's fine. It's okay. That's how it was back in the day. Now they're asking for monthly payments. So the governing body leaders, they're showing Jehovah's Witnesses who they are and who they're not. And they're not God's chosen vessel on earth. I can tell you that right now. They are not God's chosen vessel on earth. Because as I always talk about, Malachi 3:6 says, I am God, I do not change. God doesn't change. So if the Bible says one thing, but the governing body leaders are doing something else, who do you listen to, Jehovah's Witnesses? Do you listen to the Bible, or do you listen to mere men that are not even inspired by God? That's the most comical thing that's the most comical part about this entire thing, is that you have millions of Jehovah's Witnesses worldwide listening to a group of men that's not even inspired by God. Isn't that idolatry? Because you're slaving and serving men. You're not slaving for God, you're slaving for men. Your whole life is deciphered from men by what they tell you what to do and what not to do. And I just, all the new light, it's like, it's like, what? It's like, how is this not, this should be so obvious to everyone, to every Jehovah's Witness, that this is not the truth. It should be so obvious. And it's sad that you still have millions of people lost in the source. You still have millions of people locked in, believing in this nonsense. But this new light, update number 5, it is now a personal decision if you want to go to college, if you want to pursue secular education. That is a slap in the face to all the old timers, all the old school Jehovah's Witnesses. That is a slap in the face, because a lot of them, they're suffering and they're struggling right now because they listen to the governing body leaders. So it's the governing body leaders of Jehovah's Witnesses. Are they going to write checks to people who are down and out? Are they going to start handing out cash to people who are struggling? Because these people listen to these governing body leaders. And for what? Listening to the governing body leaders is detrimental to a Jehovah's Witness. It works against them. It doesn't work for you. It works against you. But I really pray and hope that Jehovah's Witnesses start to see these men for who they really are. It's time. Because these men are not, they're not representing God at all. It's so obvious. Once again, Malachi 3:6, I am God, I do not change. God doesn't change. So if God doesn't change, and this is supposed to be the truth, how come there's so many changes? How come there's so many changes if Malachi 3:6 says, I am God, I do not change? But I feel like every few months there's new light, new doctrines that contradicts the Bible. It contradicts what the Bible has to say. If you're a Jehovah's Witness watching this video, it's time to use this. It's time to use the brain that God gave us to use. Anyway, guys, I'm going to end this video. I just couldn't believe what I saw earlier. And, you know, once again, my heart goes out to all the witnesses who have skills. Like I said, there's so many witnesses. They could be actors, singers, dancers, athletes. They put all that aside to devote their life to this organization. And this organization keeps changing its doctrines, changing its rules. It's a slap in the face to Jehovah's Witnesses. And if you are a witness watching the video, my heart goes out to you. I love you. Please do your research. Your leaders are showing you who they are. They're showing you, it's proven to you that they are not God's chosen vessel on planet Earth. They're not. This is just another money-making organization. That's all it is. A money-making organization. Anyway, guys, I love you. I'll see you guys on the next one.